Hi everyone, this is Anna Finch from Finch Press. Hope everyone's had a great day. So today's video is another how-to video. This is mainly on basically how to keep track of income that you receive from book royalties from different platforms and keeping track of when you actually get those royalties. Because just because you make X number of sales in, say, January doesn't mean that you'll get paid in January for those sales. Depending on the platform you use, when you get your payment for those sales from that month will be different. So you need to keep track of it. Now the reason for that, you need to keep track of not just how much you earn in a month in sales, or how many books you sell in a month. That's important. You do need to keep track of it, particularly for different types of platforms. But when you have a lot of platforms, and each of them have different dates for when they receive payments, when they give you the payment, how they deposit, all of that is different depending on the platform. So when you have that many platforms and you're publishing directly, or even from using the one platform and you're publishing print and ebook, they will have different dates when they will give you the payment, and you need to keep track of it. So I'm going to show you how to do that using Excel, or how to set up a document that will allow you to do that on Excel. And I'll show you the one I set up, and then I'll show you how to actually do it and how to actually set it up using Excel. You should be able to do something similar using Numbers, which I think is I think Numbers is the Apple version of Excel. You can use it on Google Excel sheets. You can do it by hand in a physical book, but I've created this so I don't have to do any technical calculations beyond copying whatever it is I see on my income report for a particular month and just putting that information in. Now, from what I understand, StoryAd, STORAID, StoryAd.com, has a tool which is accessible in the free version, which will allow you to calculate the worth of a book. Now, I haven't used it yet. I'm planning on using it so I can at least see if I can find an easier version than an Excel sheet. But it may be useful for you to check out in order to see if you can use it to calculate your royalties, whatever you get in a month. Now, another reason why I set this particular Excel sheet up that I'm going to show you is for taxes. Now, so the income I receive from Draft to Digital, or the income that I will end up receiving from Draft to Digital, Google Play, and Amazon. All those three companies are US companies, and they will pay into your account. And because they're US based companies, they will withhold tax. I've selected the treaty, so I pay only 5% in taxes withheld from those platforms. And in Australia, I can claim a foreign income tax offset, meaning I don't pay that tax again. But I need to keep track of what I actually get. So what I actually get, and keep track of how much tax I've paid. Now, that's only for 3 platforms. I've got other platforms I'm publishing to where where tax isn't withheld. But it also means I need to pay tax. So I'll show you how I've set it up. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's go to Excel. So I copied what I had originally in my expenses document, and I put it in a new book sheet. So you can have a look. So I've color coded it. So each platform is a different color. And I've put an example so I know what to put in each section. So this is for income. So this is where I can calculate profit. Now, the way I've set it up means as soon as I input any data, it will automatically change. So we'll combine total royalties in a particular month. It's already been set up automatically. It will automatically calculate the total units that you've sold across all platforms, the way I've set it out. Profit. So the way the profit one will work, it will take the total minus the expenses for that month minus tax withheld. So because I live in Australia, we have a pay-as-you-go system for sole traders, which basically means instead of waiting until the end of financial year to get a massive tax bill for whatever income you make when it comes to the books, what happens is you set aside every month or every 3 months. You pay every 3 months, every 6 months, or every month, however often you want to pay your tax. So you calculate how many. So they've got the Australian website, government website, the ATO, has a calculator which says if you earn this much in a week, a month or something, this is how much tax you pay. And I just put on average how much if you make, how much tax is withheld per month. I can pay it in installments. So what I do is I can open the calculator. So once I've put in the data for units and the royalties made, what I can do is I go to that calculator, I find how my total royalty number for the month, and I look. Okay, I go to it, click on, and then I write down how much tax would normally be withheld if I receive that payment from an employer, and I put the tax there. And what happens is, the way I've set it up, it automatically calculates my total profit. So in this example, there's $794 profit after tax and expenses are taken out. So that is basically my wage. Now, the tax I calculate with this and with the calculator isn't going to be exactly accurate, because with some of the platforms, I would be paying 5% income tax, or tax 5% is withheld, which may mean when I do taxes at the end of the year after, or the end of the financial year, what will happen is with the tax offset, and once the expenses and things are calculated for this particular sole trading income, what may happen is I don't pay back, I don't have to pay any extra tax because I've already paid it in installments. Or if I was just a bit off with my calculations, I only just pay a little bit more rather than bill us thousands of dollars, which no one wants. People want to get money back in tax, they'll pay it. Okay, so this is for working out income. This is what it looks like. Okay, put another sheet. I'll copy another. Put another sheet at the end. Okay, so what we're going to do now. I've got this many. This many platforms I'm working with. So I'm just going to copy this first two. Now, obviously, if you do it yourself, you have to type each bit in, but I'm not going to because I'm that lazy. So A to U, and 1 and 2. Okay, oops. Okay. Okay. Okay, so, and then what I can do is I hold the control button, click on all of the platforms. So I've copied all the headings I want. In your case, you'd be writing them. Okay, highlight each of the rows or columns, sorry. Click on this button which has the borders and click all borders. Create it automatically. Now, I will color code the columns. That way I don't have to worry about any, so I can actually physically tell the difference. So I've put an example here. So if you see when I click on this, there's no special code because this is just our data. Okay, the coding is in this section. Okay, so the coding is in the total combined royalties, total sales, profit, and the tax. And so it's just 3 boxes you've got to do the calculations in. So for total combined royalties, so what you do is in this box, this is how you actually type it in. So you click on the box that you want to put the information in, and you put in here equals. Okay, and then you click on what you want to do. So this is for total combined royalties. So for royalties, we click on this number, we put the plus sign, and we do that for each box. So okay, so you do that for each box, press enter, it will calculate. So this has got a 0 because there's no data in this row. So this particular row has no data. Okay, I'm just going to make that yellow. So it will say 0. But once you add data in there, the number changes. Okay, so that's basically how you put the sum in that column. Total units equals, click, whoops, undo, equals. So you click on each box which has the value for the units, put the plus sign. Okay, and then once you've done all that, enter, and it fixes it. Okay, profit box. Okay, so your profit is this, take away this, take away this. So in this box, put the equals, you click on this column here, or this box here. So you take the total, you put the dash for minus, you click on the expenses box, minus, and then tax, then enter. So this will say 0. So as soon as we put, say, $100 in the tax, and we put, let's just say we make 200. Okay, and expenses are 30. So you put that detail. So you put your total royalties. So it tells you that's how many royalties you got in total. That's how much money you spent in the month on maybe advertising or something for that book, or in general if you're writing another book at the same time. So you put that expenses, take away, and then you take away the tax, and that's how much you got left. Now, when I created this originally, I forgot to put the tax withheld column. So the tax withheld column is now at the end, when I originally wanted to put it when it's probably supposed to be before the profit. So it goes total combined sales, total units, expenses, tax withheld, then profit. So that's basically how it works. And you can have as many or as little columns as you want. And if you're only publishing on Ingram Spark and you're doing ebook and print book with Ingram, then you would need to have print books for Ingram in one color and ebooks for Ingram in another. Okay, so even if you use Ingram and then publish directly with Apple and then Amazon, you would still, for print, and then Amazon you do print and ebooks, Ingram you do print and ebooks, Apple you do ebooks. You would need a units sold and royalties column for the print books for Amazon, print books for Ingram, and then you would need to do the same for ebooks, because the royalties you get for print books is different to the ebooks. Okay, so that's basically how you calculate income and work out how much profit you get. Okay, now keeping track of how much you actually get paid. Now, I looked at the different platforms. I actually put an example situation when I got the royalties, and then I actually created the columns for Ingram Spark, D2D, Kobo, Google, Amazon. Okay, that way, because I basically did this. I took these 4 columns, put it here. Okay, and I color coded them, same colors as what I used in the income sheet. Now, the reason why I put this is because the date you get the payments is going to be different. So, for example, Ingram Spark. This is for print books, by the way. Say you make $100 in royalties from print books in October from Ingram. Okay, now they will send you a report for that month saying, congratulations, saying that you got $100 or you earned $100 in royalties for October or January or whatever month it is. But you don't get paid for it, not until later. With Ingram Spark print books, they give you the report at the end of the month, roughly. I think it's at the end of the month they give you the report, but you don't get paid until 3 months after. So for royalties that you earned in October, you don't get paid for those royalties until the first week of February, which is 3 months or 90 days after when you originally made the sale. Now, 3 months, not that bad. Amazon, I can't remember. I haven't published the print book with Amazon, so I don't know when they would do the royalty payments from Amazon. Now, part of the reason why there's such a large gap with Ingram is because they distribute everywhere. They distribute to all retailers. Do all retailers stock your book? No, but they distribute everywhere. And it takes time to get all the information from every single retailer, because every single retailer has different standards when it comes to calculating royalties, when it comes to reporting, and when they actually tell you. So that's part of the reason for the delay. So with print books, you get paid 30 days, or basically 3 months after you made the sale. Now, that's for print books. The ebooks is something you need to be aware of. And it's kind of tricky to find this information on their page, but you can get this information. There is information about the payment cycle for Ingram. Literally type in Ingram Spark payment cycle, you'll get the information. For ebooks on Ingram Spark, say you're publishing on print and ebook on Ingram, and then Amazon print and ebook, and then say you're just doing Amazon and Ingram. So there were the only 2 retailers. Hypothetically, Amazon pays you for the ebooks 60 days after the sale. So 2 months after you make the sale, you get the payment. That's for ebook. Ingram Spark, on the other hand, because they distribute to many, many more digital retailers and distributors than Draft to Digital, and each platform has a different date for when it comes to reporting. So they may report. They go through multiple stages for ebooks. They will get the report from the platform 30 days after the sale. You will most likely get a report for that another 30 days after. But from what I could see on their page for ebook, you get your royalties for your ebooks about 6 months after you made the sale, half a year. So for sales made in January, ebook sales you make in January, you won't get paid for it until June. That's something you need to be aware of. Okay. And actually, I'll show you. I'll stop sharing my screen, and I'll actually So I'll open up Safari and I'll type in Ingram Spark payment schedule, just so you can see it. So right now I'm going to share my screen so you can actually see the Safari page. Okay, so I just typed in Ingram Spark payment schedule. And I do suggest you check the payment schedule for each platform you use, because each one is different. Say invoice report, what it looks like, billing statement. So it's got all the information on there, and it's easy to find it. Okay. If there's no sales, no report will be produced. That goes for all of it. That's reasonable. I'm trying to find eBook. Okay, payment cycle. So print books. So it tells you if you sell a book in January, first week of May, you'll get paid for it. So on, and it tells you, goes through all the months, and it tells you when to expect the payment. Ebooks. Print and ebook are completely different. You get the report in the month. So you get the report for January, probably the first week of Feb, and you get paid first week of May. So the 3-month gap is not that bad. But ebook. So you sell the book in January. The retailer, so say the retailer is Apple. Apple will tell Ingram, hey, so-and-so sold this many books for this amount of royalties in January. Okay, they get that information in February. Ingram reports your sales from January in February. So they will generate a report and give you information saying, hey, you sold this many books for this many royalties in these retailers. Okay, you get the report. So they make the report then. You get the report first week of March for the sales you made in January. This is ebook sales. Then, so you get the report first week of March. Ingram sends payment for the sales you made in January in June. This is 6 months after you make the sale. Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing. Okay, so this is why you need to know exactly, okay, you need to know exactly when you're going to get paid for each platform. Because if you publish on multiple platforms, like I am, you're going to get payments random months. You're going to get one payment in January, one payment in March, whatever, and it's going to be all over the place. So whenever you get a payment, you need to record it, okay, for taxes. That's the main thing. You need to record this for taxes, because there are 2 different methods of accounting. Cash basis, where you pay tax on the money you actually receive as income in that year. So if you publish your book in January and you don't get, this is with ebooks, say you publish your ebook in January with Ingram and you don't get the physical income until June, it's half a year. You're in the second half of the financial, you're at near the end of the financial year in Australia. So if you do cash basis, what it means is you pay tax on the money you got paid for in June, regardless of when you actually earned the money. So despite the fact you earned the royalties in January, because you got paid in June, you pay in June. You pay tax on what you got, the money that was deposited in your bank in June. Accrual, and this is based on my understanding, and this is in no way tax advice. I'm not an accountant, I'm not a tax agent, I'm not an advisor. This is not legal advice or tax advice. This is just me explaining key definitions. Okay? Accrual basically means if you earn $100 in royalties, if you sell enough books that the royalties for January are 100, February is 100, say between January and March, you got 100. Or between January and June, you got 100 for each month in royalties. doesn't matter that, say you earned $100 in royalties each month, and this is in total from all the platforms. Then for those 6 months, on an accrual basis, what it basically means is you'll pay tax on the income for those 6 months. So the $100 from each month, you pay tax on that, even if you haven't received the money. So you could have, on an accrual basis, you would have the income report saying you earned $100 each month for 6 months. You may have received one payment out of the 6, but on an accrual basis, doesn't matter. You pay tax on all 6 months that you earned income, even if you haven't received it. Now, it does mean that it can mean that your tax will be higher. You're paying tax for something you haven't received. So anything to do with that sort of thing, you need to speak with your tax agent. I'm not an advisor, but just explain that. So, and it also depends on your accountant, if your accountant does your tax. Now, depending on the system, means you pay less or more tax. So if you keep track of when you get paid, it also helps you keep track of what receipts and invoices you show your tax agent. Because if you're doing cash basis tax or income tax, well, you show them for the money you receive, the invoices for the money you received and what was deposited in your account. So yeah. So with this, you just create each of the columns. There's no like special thing. There's no like special like numbers or whatever. Okay, each one is different. You put whatever one that you get your income from. So I've put a mixed. Where is Amazon? This one. Okay, Pioneer. If you do publishing with Amazon, you may end up having income deposited in more than one account, Pioneer or into your bank account, especially if you're Australian, because not all banks accept income or electronic transfers into your account. So there's no fancy graphics. You just set up a table, color code it, you add the details. I put an example. You don't have to. I put an example in there for me so that when I put in October 2020, which is when I would be first earning income for the book, I would write, okay, so I know to expect the royalties in the first week of February. So I would record in my income sheet how many books I sold that month, how much royalties I received that month. Okay, in this sheet, I would put the exact date. So the moment the money appears in my bank account or PayPal, I would write, so for royalties, payment for royalties in October 2020, I would put, okay, received 5th of February 2021. Okay, received it by PayPal. Okay, because sometimes you may end up changing the way you receive your money. So there's that. Okay, so this is just so you can keep track of when you get it, and it will make it easier for when you're doing your tax. That's basically it. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. That is basically how you use Excel to keep track of your income. If you're doing expenses, you can use an Excel sheet for a budget, so you can put how much you would spend for each thing. So I already set up a budget template that I can use for every book. I've got a separate one for each book where I put basic things like, actually I'll show you it. Let's see if I can show you it. I'll show you a blank one. Let's see if I can I'll go to a blank one. So you can also use Excel for budgeting. So I already set it up. So there's a section for each different thing. So I organize it by category, the specific expense in that category, details. So if I needed to get a specific style or something, if I got a discount or anything different, anything specific, it could be the person I got it from, so the artist, in the case of the design, the cost. If I got it, say I hired one person to do all 5 of these covers, I may just be paying the one price, and I just put brackets for all, or brackets all, okay, and purchase from. So I know I'm going to be getting my covers from 99 Designs. Maybe different in the future, but at the moment, 99 Designs. Purchase date. All right, okay, when did I actually pay for the cover? Did I pay for the covers for each of these different covers at the same time or different dates? Okay, so I put that down. Editing, developmental, line, proofread. Those are the 3 types of editing I use. And I used all 3. Developmental is the heaviest editing. Okay, specific details. Now, I got my developmental editing via Fiverr. So I would, in the purchase from, I would put the company. In details, I would put the name of the person or anything specific that they mentioned or how they provided something. Cost. Developmental editing can be the most expensive type of editing. It's supposed to be, but you can actually find a good editor, developmental editor, for a decent price. I actually spent more on proofreading than I did on developmental editing. The proofreading was from a professional company, but there are differences. If there's details like, oh, I wanted it in a week or whatever, I'd put that there. Okay, publishing, again, paperback, hardback, large print, and then I put the specific ones. Now, I put it as a standard, as if I would get everything for the same book. So paperback, hardback, and large print. It's all with Ingram Spark. They're the only ones that really do it. Or, okay, cost for uploading, for revision, for proof copy. So each cost is different. Maybe for upload, the upload and the proof copy are pretty much going to be my standard fees. Revision depends if I make a mistake. I'm going to be a bit more careful next time because I don't want to do it. And I'd put when I bought it. If I paid nothing for the upload or nothing for the revision or whatever, I would put free. Okay, draft to digital. Again, draft to digital, Kobo, Apple, you pay nothing for the upload fee. ISBN, where I get it from, how much it costs when I buy it. Don't need it all the time. Writing, blurb, synopsis. If I write it myself, the fee is going to be 0. But if I hire someone for it, then I'll put it there. ARC reviews. Okay, so ARC reviews, so platform for getting reviewers. Booksprout, Book Siren. That may change to NetGalley. Book Siren, my book is not on Book Siren at the moment. I've put Story Origin instead because it's free. It's in beta. It's free for authors and readers. So Booksprout I would use again because I didn't have to do any real marketing with that, and I was able to get reviewers. Have they done for reviews? Not yet. But I was able to find people who were interested in my book. So, but the platform. So these are platforms for getting editorial reviews, for customer reviews, because the ARC readers are your customer. Editorial reviews are different. Editorial reviews are reviews made by a professional. And I put a company that I got it from. Now, with this sort of editorial review, any payment is to the platform. It's a fee for the platform to find people that would actually like to read the book. It's basically paying an agent to, okay, let's put it this way. It's similar to paying an agent to find people to who are interested in your book. That's all they're doing. You're just paying for someone to find people who are interested. None of the money goes to the reviewers. People review on these sites because they enjoy reviewing and they enjoy reading new books and giving critiques. Okay, these sort of editorial reviews are for books in the ARC reading stage, but they can also be for people who just want feedback on their story in the initial stages. Maybe you've done editing to clean it up and everything, but it's not published yet. Maybe you're in the developmental stage. Okay? And you can get developmental feedback via this, and you can find out what works, what doesn't. So it's not just for getting editorial reviews for the books. So you only pay the platform to find people who may be interested. It is the reviewer's choice to review or read your book. If they don't want to read it, they don't pick it. They've got plenty. And the reviewers aren't paid. From my understanding, they are not paid. Any money made goes to the platform. I just received my first review from them, and I'm extremely happy with it. And it's professional, so it's not a custom review; it's a review by a professional. Advertising. Okay, I just put this as an example. So there are services on Fiverr that are specific to advertising, so you can get a radio ad, whatever. Advertising, regular Facebook advertising. So this would be, I would put as a budget. So around this much per year for the book, or for 3 months of the book. And when I started it, and when I ended it, if I ended it. And I would put AMS ads and things like that. So you can categorize your book. Now, when I calculated my budget for the second one, I calculated my budget using my first book. So I went, okay, this is how much I spent for my first book for each of these things. And I added it all up, total. I am not spending more than this. I'm going to be spending less for the next book. And I know roughly how much money I need for all of it. And I'm not going to go into that sort of stuff. But you get the idea on how to use Excel. So Excel is a fantastic tool, and it's pretty much free, from what I understand. Excel is pretty much free. It's free to use if it's already uploaded on your computer. You can use Excel sheets on Google Docs or Google Drive. And that's free. Okay, so it's a free tool for you to use. And it's fairly simple. It's once you know how to do certain things, it's kind of easy to do. Pros, it's accessible on any pretty much device. You can do it on your phone, the iPad, whatever. So it's accessible. Most people recognize it and have used it before, so you already have some idea of how to use it. And the formulas are pretty basic. So if you're just calculating profit, loss, expenses, that sort of thing, all you really need to know is how to input the data that's already in that table in order to calculate it. And once you set it up for the first row and all the calculations, you can literally just click on that box with the formula and drag that symbol down to whatever's the end of your column. Meaning you don't have to type in the formula. Each time it's copied into the new row, it updates. So it's the same boxes, but in that row, so the number changes. So it does that for you. Once you do it in the initial row, you can copy it all the way down. So you can do sum, so adding, subtraction, multiplication. So it's very versatile and accessible. I'm going to be using that to keep track of everything. But I'm probably also going to use StoryAd to try it out to see how it works when it comes to keeping track of everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so my book. So for those of you who don't know, my book comes out on the 20th of October this year, and I'm going to be doing a live book launch on the 23rd of October at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. In that book launch, I will be doing a live book reading. I will most likely read the first the prologue and the first maybe 2 chapters. Depending on interest, I may read more. But I will probably read the first 2 chapters, or the prologue and the first chapter at least, and I'll do a Q&A session for anyone interested. So Q&A and the so the Q&A and the book reading, and I'll also be showing some merchandise and swag that you may be interested in, including t-shirts and coffee mugs with the book cover on there. So I'll be showing some of that stuff as well. Haven't decided yet whether or not, as of the time of this recording, I haven't decided whether I'm doing a giveaway or not. Really depends on my budget and how things go. But I am definitely doing a live reading, and I'm definitely doing a Q&A session. I've set the time for it's on a Friday, Australian time, 5 o'clock, it's after work. And I've set it at that time, one, to give me time to actually get back from work, because at that stage I'm in term 4. So it gives me time to get back from work, and it's after work in Australia, but it's on a Friday, so generally it's the end of the week and people feel like celebrating. So I thought I'd do something like that. You can check, when you check the live stream link here on YouTube or on my account, you can click set a reminder for yourself to join in, because I'm doing it here on YouTube. Find it a bit easier to do it on YouTube, to be honest. And you can set a reminder for when it's on, and it should tell you when it's on in your time zone, which is helpful because the Facebook option doesn't let me do that. That's pretty much it. Hope everyone stays safe, and I hope you guys join me for my live book launch for my debut novel.